Hello. Think I figured it out. Can you hear me? If anyone's still here, dealing with my mess of a life. That was so stressful. Hello, Shreyan. Hello. Sorry, I was just going on this absolute rant about how I've had the worst day ever, and I proceeded to spend like an hour and a half in traffic, and I usually have plenty of time to get home and get ready, but that's why I look like a mess. I look like just a mess. I look like a mess. I'm rushed. I had like this whole wonderful afternoon planned for myself, and now it's just gone to absolute shit. So I can't wait to relax and have a savvy bee with my friends and watch some JJ because she calms me down. But it's been a day. It has been a day, my friends, and now I am ready to treat myself to some Jage. I also went ahead and bought YouTube Red because I was so shitty with the fact that I got the ads last time, so I am just forking out for some what's it called, YouTube Red action, so that I don't have to worry about dealing with ads. So I guess it works out for me on a personal level as well, because now I don't have to watch YouTube ads. So yeah, that's my last story. Glad you were here for it. Once again, sorry that it's taken me this whole hot time to get here, but we're here and we are feeling it and we are happy and we are good. We are good. We are great. We are feeling 100. Let's just get straight on into old JJ and have a good old time.
Okay, bro.
I do. We're going to find out. Miss Bell.
Yes.
How old are you?
22.
You work?
Yes.
Anything serious, Shreyan, or just a change?
For whom?
My father.
Doing what?
I'm a receptionist of his company. I've been working there for about 5 years.
Is it a successful company?
Yes.
How many children?
I have one brother, one sister.
Is your sister younger or older?
She's older. She's 32.
So you're the baby daughter?
Yes.
Pretty one.
Thank you.
According to what I read, you used to be involved romantically with him.
Mm-hmm.
The one who's going to sit up and uncross his arms.
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, good. We've got some sass straight off the bat to bring me into the zone.
He was a friend of this one.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So you became a friend
Yes,
of this
ma'am.
one.
Well, I was friends with him before Jesse and I actually got into a relationship.
And I gather that your father must have been thrilled with your choice of
Pink and red. I got pink.
boyfriends.
Absolutely not.
Twins.
Now, I could tell that before I even sat down. Because these two charmers ended up in jail.
Correct.
For whatever. We'll figure it out. And it is your claim that you loaned Mr. Carper money to pay off his criminal fines.
Correct.
Mr. Carper says that you did pay off his criminal fines, and you did so as a gift because you were a friend of his. He says you were more than a friend of his, that you had a romantic relationship.
We were never boyfriend girlfriend.
Listen, he didn't say boyfriend and girlfriend, he just says you were intimate with both of them.
No.
And
Ew. scandals.
All I can say is yuck. Can you imagine a father who has a company that has enough money to employ a receptionist? And this is the boyfriend and this is the friend that she goes to visit both of them in jail? How many times did you go to visit them in jail?
I never visited them in jail.
Oh, good. At least thank God for that. What were you in jail for, Mr. Carper?
Personal reasons, man.
Personal reasons is not a criminal offense. Shh, quiet.
I made stupid decisions, John.
Mr. Carper,
That's
when I
generally
ask a
why
question,
people end
I
up in
expect
jail,
an
right?
answer.
Yes, ma'am.
What were you in jail for?
Possession.
Possession of
Schedule 2 substance.
what kind of substance?
Pills.
Was it the first
Pills.
time you were arrested?
No, ma'am.
And the last time you were arrested was when, sir?
Before I got incarcerated.
When were you incarcerated?
It's March of 2002.
And how long were you in
God,
prison?
this guy's got
30
attitude.
months.
What prison?
Coffeewood and Camp 7.
Are you still on parole status?
Yes, ma'am.
Until when?
It's indefinite.
You're on indefinite parole?
Yes, ma'am.
Fabulous. Now, your friend, what's his name?
Jesse Golf.
Jesse. How long have you and Jesse been friends?
Since I was 5 years old, ma'am.
And what was he in prison for?
Personal
Assault.
reasons?
Assault.
Yes, ma'am.
How long had Jesse and Miss Bell been friends?
They had known each other for a long time. I never met her. She said I knew her before they started dating. I never met this girl until I came home. I didn't know who she was. So that's a lie right there.
How long
Shock.
did you think they were involved? When he was in prison with you, right?
We were in the county jail together.
Oh.
Yes, ma'am.
When were you in the county jail together?
2003.
Did he know her then? Were they involved
I
then?
take it. No, they weren't involved.
No, we were.
When did you first hook up with Jesse?
I started talking to Jesse actually back in high school, about 9th grade.
When did you start to see him romantically?
I want to say July.
And he's just
I've got 3 concurrent viewers. Hello, whoever you are. Drop your g'days in chat if you want to talk to me. I had a terrible day and I need cheering up.
out of jail.
Yes.
You're his mother.
I am.
Sometimes you
Because obviously the viewers are here to cheer me up. I'm not here to provide a service of streaming and providing entertainment, do I? This is my therapy.
make a souffle and it falls. Happens. Tell me about the loan.
I loaned him $4,589 on September 29th to pay off his charges, which I have receipts of.
Well, tell me how it came about that you laid out that money.
Well, I saw him apply after job after job after job, and he kept getting turned down because he didn't have his license. And
What do you mean you saw him?
I would take him and Mr. Goff to apply at jobs, and
Why would you do that?
I was trying to help them out by taking them to fill out job applications so they could get a job, and I didn't want them to get locked back up. And I asked Mr. Carper if I were to pay off his fines, he could get his license and get him and Jesse were willing to be my roommates because I'm going through separations. So
Separation from?
my husband,
You have any children?
I have a 3-year-old daughter.
So you want
So she's seeing both of these dudes. Hey Tilly, hey Babs. So she's seeing both of these dudes while going through separation with her husband. She's got a 3-year-old daughter. So this has all happened very quickly in a very small space of time. Very quickly in a small space of time. That means the same thing.
to take your 3-year-old daughter and be their roommate.
Yes.
Tilly, you missed out on my epic story as to why I was late. So, first of all, I just had a crap day. You know, when you like wake up and everything is crap. So I was in a shitty mood. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to treat myself to a brand new monitor and I'm going to come home and I'm going to set it up and I'm going to have this like little stream set up. I bought myself a bloody ridiculously expensive gaming mouse pad that like lights up so I can be pink and it like can match my like little situation that I've got going on here. And I was like, oh my god. And I bought a new shelf yesterday. I've got like a little setup. I was like, yes, I'm gonna like have a new little streaming room. And then I was A, just had a crap day in general, and then B, sat in traffic for an hour and a half because just as I hit the final turn off before my home, there was an accident. So, you know, obviously somebody else had it worse than me and I hope that they are okay, but also it was a long afternoon, you know.
Who do you live with now?
Now I live with my parents. I'm currently trying to sell.
Stay there. Because
A
your
well-earned
judgment is
savvy bee, the
impaired.
Savo.
Big time.
Recently it has been. I do agree.
If you are a 22-year-old woman and your judgment is impaired and all you're doing is hurting yourself,
She's 22 and she's going through all this. Oh, the poor bugger.
that's one thing. But to take your 3-year-old child and on purpose move in out of your parents' home into an apartment with 2 convicted felons
Ugh.
who are on parole,
Stop that.
one for drugs, I'm not so sure about him now, is the kind of lapsed judgment that your parents aren't going to tolerate.
It's actually a house that I own, and my husband, my ex, moved out, and I could not afford the mortgage, and I actually lived there, and it was either I find some roommates or
I don't care if you have to live in a shelter. You don't take a 3-year-old child and put a 3-year-old child in a circumstance where you have 2 convicted felons, one of whom was there for pills.
I agree.
Got it?
It was also cocaine.
So you
Ooh,
paid off his
sassy.
fines.
Yes.
And how was he supposed to pay you back?
He was going to pay me monthly because I actually charged it on a credit card, and he agreed to pay me monthly. At first, a little bit over the minimum payment, and then, you know, what he was going
Right, that's
to
a
pay me
little
a lot
better.
more.
What were the fines for? Can I see the piece of paper that you have?
Tilly.
You think that's a real diamond in his ear?
Yeah, it is.
Is that a real diamond in your ear?
Of course, ma'am. I don't wear fake things.
What?
I don't wear fake things. Just
Could I see it, please?
You
Yeah,
said
take
it?
it out.
Wow.
Wow, indeed. I hope. Oh man, if she has like a diamond inspector little eyeglass thing, I'll be sad. Also gross, all that ear goop. I wouldn't want to touch that shit. I hope she makes Bird hold it up to her eyes.
Thank you. Felony fee, fines,
She just doesn't give it back.
$1,000. Felony fee, $350. Jail admission fee, $25. And court-appointed attorney, $437. Love it. Commonwealth of Virginia. Good for Virginia. And what would happen to you, Mr. Carper, if you didn't pay these fines?
They would probably violate my parole.
And then what would happen to you?
Then I would not see the light of day forever.
Judge Judy continues.
It's collateral now, legit.
Payment of the fine is what?
Punishment.
Right. And if you let somebody up,
If that's a real diamond, oh man, if she's like, okay, I'm gonna sell this diamond for you, peace out. Here's your exact amount so that you can pay your bills. I'll take the diamond. Cheers, buddy.
pay your fines, you're allowing somebody else to do your...
Punishment, ma'am.
Is he quick learn or what?
Squirt.
And later today,
This guy is no good. No bargains.
real people. Judge Judy. Chastity Bell claims.
Chastity,
her
what a name.
ex-boyfriend's friend, Anthony Carper,
Chastity
owes her
Bell.
a loan to pay court fines.
What do you think fines are for, sir?
To be paid, ma'am.
Because they're part of your what?
Probation.
Part of your what? Punishment.
Yes, ma'am.
And if somebody else pays your fine, then you have no...
Punishment.
Right. Why do you think a court would allow that to happen?
Because it's the law, ma'am.
What's the law? Why do you think a court would allow somebody else to do your punishment? Let me ask you this, sir. We've already established that...
God,
payment
she's
of
in
the
a
fine
mood
is
today.
Punishment.
Right.
She's like exuding the energy that I'm exuding right now.
And you're going to jail was a form of...
Punishment, ma'am.
Now, you couldn't say to somebody else, listen, I want you to do me a favor. I don't feel like going to jail. I'm going to go out and sell a whole bunch of pills, so I'm going to have a couple of bucks, you know. I'm going to give you $10,000 to do my 30 months. You think that the state would permit that to happen?
No, ma'am.
Yeah, why not?
What would if the person said to you, know, I don't mind going to jail. I have nothing else to do. I could really use the $10,000. I'll go to jail for you for the 30 months. You think the state would permit that?
No, ma'am.
Because then you wouldn't be doing your own.
Punishment.
And if you let somebody else pay your fines, you're allowing somebody else to do your...
Punishment.
You see, quick learn or what? So the first thing you have to do in order to do
I
your
love that we
punishment
had
is sell
to
your
watch that
diamonds.
again. I mean, I'm not mad at it, but like, that was brilliant.
That's what the first thing that people do is sell their diamonds, right?
Oh shit, she's actually gonna pull this.
Yes, ma'am.
Then they pay the rest of their debt, $4,500. Maybe you can get $89 for this Coke diamond. When did you give him up as a boyfriend?
We weren't really actually together because he's not capable of just having one girlfriend. We were supposedly together for probably about maybe a month.
You are an articulate, nice-looking girl who clearly has very low self-esteem. Because if you didn't have low self-esteem, you wouldn't have been involved with either one of them.
Right.
You have parents who have a business. You have a child. You've made some bad judgments, but you're only 22 years old. You have the capacity to change. You have anything you want to add to what I've already said?
I do.
I'm just
Of
dying to hear
course.
why you would come be her witness if your son is sitting over there.
Oh, amazing.
As what's wrong is wrong, and you're absolutely right. He's skating his punishment.
Do you have anything new to add?
I think it's a funny how you do to thank somebody for doing all that.
I feel like the mum just wanted to come on Judge Judy. She doesn't actually have any useful information. She just comes on Judge Judy to chastise her son, like, idiot.
She did for you. Okay, good. Thank you very much. By the way, did she also pay your son's fines? Yes, she did. Did he pay her back?
No, we actually go to court for that on March 7th.
Oh.
Prince William County.
Should we just hang out here?
Just a second. Just a second. So why don't you do this? You're his mother, right?
I am.
You made him. You raised him. Why don't you pay his fines?
Because he's 24 years old and I'm not responsible for him anymore.
So pay her. Why should this 22-year-old pay your bloody son's fines? That makes no sense. Like, if you're standing as a witness to this girl who obviously you like, so you can clearly just come on Judge Judy, wouldn't you bloody pay the fines that she has paid for your dumbass son and be like, look, you're out of it now. I can bloody take my own son to court. Oh, honestly.
Yeah, I know, but you're more responsible than a stranger. Maybe you should just...
I would not have paid his fines in the first place.
You would let him go back to jail.
I would.
You're absolutely right. Sit down. In any event, she paid $4,589 in order to keep you free. I'm entering a judgment for $4,500 and it's diamond. Thank you. That's all.
It is diamond. Amazing.
Step out. It is what it is, man. She was messing with him. Me and her had a little thing going on.
I made a mistake by trying to help both of them out, and it blew up in my face.
If me and her would stay talking, this would never came about.
Doesn't matter if he's seeing her or not. The money is still owed.
Money is nothing to me. I'll take care of it.
Picking up the phone the day Jesse called me was one of the biggest mistakes I made.
And now the next case.
This is a brilliant episode. Usually they have the lamest episode first, and this is the first case. So strap in, babes. We're in for a good one.
All parties in the matter of Murray versus Easton. Step forward, please.
23-year-old Lisa Murray is suing.
It's a shame that we're on such a great case set while I look like this.
her ex-boyfriend, 21-year-old Ish Easton, for the cost of a plane ticket to New Jersey. Ish claims Lisa is being vindictive.
Miss Murray, Mr. Easton and you dated briefly, according to your complaint, and you believe he owes you for an airline ticket that you purchased for him in order that the two of you go home to meet the parents. And then you broke up for the trip.
Shock.
Mr. Easton says that the going home to meet the parents was strictly your idea. He never asked you to buy the ticket. You bought it on your own, so you pay for it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Seems fair.
When did you meet him?
February 2006. We were working together.
And when did you start dating?
We started dating in the beginning of June 2006.
And when did you want to go and introduce him to your family?
Through the month of June, we're in the beginning of July 2006, our relationship became
No.
serious.
You're talking so fast I can hardly understand you. I asked you a simple question. When did you want to take him home to meet your parents?
July
Mommy and
2006.
Daddy.
After a full week. Why?
Well, I had missed my family very much, and he also said that he would like to go. He was excited about going to see New York City and seeing New Jersey.
If he was so excited, why didn't he buy his own ticket?
He currently did not have the money at the time, nor did he have a credit card.
What was the arrangement that you made with him?
I love it when people try to use like really like big words in these situations. Like he currently did not have money at the time, so he didn't have the money at the time. He currently did not have money at the time. What do you mean?
That when we came back from our trip, that he would be reimbursing me.
And when did you break up?
September 7th, 2006.
And when were you supposed to go to New York?
September 9th, 2006.
I'll hear you.
After she had initially brought the idea to go visit her parents, I told her then, I was like, well, I don't have
No,
money.
look at me.
Oh, I told her then, I don't have money to pay you back for any kind of ticket before we even discussed repaying anything.
It was a
Why
gift.
would you say that to her? I thought you made it work.
This is after we started dating, man.
Now listen to me. You're not listening. You don't have your listening ears on. You said I don't have any money. And she just told me that you met at work in February of 2006. What kind of work were you doing?
I, at the time, was working at Home Depot, man.
And in July, where were you working?
I worked for a structural engineering firm.
And in August?
Still work there, man.
Okay, so you were working, you were employed.
Yes.
Do you have children?
No, before dating Miss Murray, I was in a previous relationship. Separated from that relationship, I had to move back home. But upon moving back home, my parents were like, well, you got to help pay bills and stuff like that. So I pay half of everything.
So?
Leaving pretty much nothing.
Well, that's not true. You have money to eat out, right?
On occasion, man. And that was money that I was like, Mom, can I borrow $50 to go out? Or
Mr. Easton, when you discussed with Miss Murray going to New York, I don't believe that you said to her, I don't have the money to pay you now, and I'll never have the money to pay you back. Because I don't think that under those circumstances, she would have continued to see you, because that would have sounded like something a bum would say. I don't have money now, maybe. I'll never have money to pay you back. I wouldn't have taken you to meet my parents. I would have been humiliated to take you. You're a bum. If you say, I'll never have any money to buy an airline ticket for $295. So I don't believe that you said that to her. I believe that you probably said to her, I don't have money to pay for it now. That I believe. Now, when did she buy the ticket?
she called me and was like, I bought tickets to go to New Jersey.
No, you had already discussed it. So don't say it came as a surprise to you.
I don't know.
Come as a surprise.
I don't know the exact.
I mean, yes, I totally get that, because like if you're having a conversation, like say Tyson and I are like, oh, maybe we should go to the Gold Coast for the weekend or some shit, and then like we kind of put a pin in it and that's as far as it goes, and then he's like, hey, I bought tickets to the Gold Coast and I expect you to pay half and I don't have money to do so, like the money to do so, like of course you'd be like, well, we didn't really discuss it. Hey Jacob, yeah, I managed to start like 2 minutes late. You haven't missed much, but it is a cracker of a episode case selection. The first one was amazing. You can totes catch up on it on the replay, but yeah, this is just starting. You haven't missed anything, and it's brill. As I was saying, I feel like it can come as a surprise. Just because you talked about it doesn't mean that it's set in stone. Like, unless he's literally said, okay, do it, babes, and then she's done it, and he's like, what do you mean? Like,
when did you purchase the tickets?
July 25th, I purchased the tickets. I have phone calls.
Shh. And she told you that she purchased them in July.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. And you were working in Home Depot.
I was working at Home Depot and the engineering firm at the same time.
So 2 places.
Yes, ma'am.
What did you do with the ticket?
I was unable to refund it because he broke up with me within 24 hours prior to canceling it.
Got the bill?
Yes.
Why did you break up right before you were ready to leave New York, sir?
Well, there was a span of like 2 weeks where her and I barely ever saw each other, and that was because my work schedule at the engineering firm went from a regular...
I don't know why I'm defending this guy so much, but like obviously you'd break up if you're about to go away for a serious weekend to meet family and you're not feeling it. You'd be like, yeah, look, soz. I mean, yeah, he could have given her more notice, but maybe he was like trying to feel it out and see if like maybe he was just being irrational or changing his mind, and then it got to 24 hours before and he was like, look, this is just not happening. I'm not going to put myself through a whole weekend with this chick that I'm not really interested in, his family, and make it even more difficult to break up after.
8-hour day to 9 to 12-hour days, and I didn't have time to see her. It was work, home, work, bed, pretty much.
Okay.
A gentleman that I play football with, his girlfriend and Miss Murray became very good friends, hanging out, had informed me that the plaintiff had gone to MySpace and read a
The plaintiff, grow up.
quote that I had written on MySpace. And that was one of the first issues. One of the other issues was
Did you say something not nice about her?
I didn't say anything toward her at all. The quote that I left on my page said, due to the pain caused by love, to love I say. And that was nothing toward her previous relationship exactly to that. Then it went from that to she had been saying...
JJ's face is what we're all thinking right now. Just like, what are you even fucking talking about?
Oh, I don't have money, I don't have money, I don't have money. Well, then my friend's girlfriend is like, oh, we went shopping today. And Lisa bought this, and Lisa bought that, and Lisa bought this.
Why does it make any difference to you whether she said I don't have money?
Well, because if you're going to tell me you don't have money, then how you going to turn around and go shopping?
She wasn't asking for money from you, was she?
Initially broke up with her because she lies. You can trust a thief because you know they're going to steal. You can trust a killer, you know they're going to kill. But you can't trust a liar.
Shut up.
I asked her, I said, well,
I take back all prior defenses that I laid toward this man, you moron.
Did you go on my MySpace page and read that? She said no. And before that, I said, is there anything you want to tell me about that you
We love an Officer Bird cameo.
haven't said to me in the past? No, there's nothing I can think of.
you're going to get your $295 back for the ticket. Before you leave, you should get down on the floor, on all fours, kiss the ground, and say, God, thank you for terminating this relationship, because this guy is no good. No bargain, no good, no way. I don't know much about you.
I agree. He is funny, but he's a moron.
I don't know if you're good, but I can tell you right now, he's a bum. He's always going to be a bum because he makes excuses for what he does that bear no resemblance to reality. That's what he just did. He just gave me a whole cock and bull story. In reality, he probably found somebody else to cover some of his bills. Because when someone is so smitten with a woman, they don't not see them for 2 weeks. They may give up sleeping, but they won't go work, job, work, school, work, and not see the person for whom they have lost their heart. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So he made up a whole big story. Nothing in his story was true. So you're a very lucky girl that you got rid of him, because for somebody who doesn't like lying, he's become very proficient at it. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $295. That's all.
God, this is such a good, like, little reel. I'm very, very happy with this.
Financially, he didn't have the money and had other obligations to pay for, and I became at the bottom of the list.
You know, you can't argue with it, so just live on, move on.
He's the one who stood in the courtroom in mine today.
I got some things to do, life to live, and just would rather move on and not have to deal with it no more.
Just learn from it and move on.
Arrested, falsely arrested for assaulting her. You want her to cover your expenses.
I've been skipping these little Judge Judy 2021 best case episodes that have been coming up on the IRLsies. And I'm kind of realizing that maybe they are the best cases and I should probably go through them. I've been like siphoning through because the episode title of this is called Judge Judy Best Case number 129. And I'm like, oh yeah, like it's obviously like newer stuff because it's listed as 2021, but I'm pretty sure it's just old cases that have been posted in 21 that are really good. So lesson learned, peeps.
For that. Exactly. Bail, your lawyer's fees. Miss Blaney is counterclaiming because she says that you assaulted her. How long have you been neighbors?
About 4 years.
Right next door?
Yep.
Do you own or rent?
Own.
And Miss Blaney, do you own or rent?
I own. We live in a mobile home park, Your Honor.
Okay. So you've been in close proximity to each other for...
How's the JJ audio, guys? I've got it turned down a little bit. Like, could you use a little bit more JJ audio?
4 years. Have you gotten along previously?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, we did.
I can see that we're going to have to do this my way. Yes, you've gotten along?
Yes, we did.
Until when?
Until early...
The dog kidnapping case, Shreyan. Yes, I am hoping that it comes up in my list. I do want to find it, but I also kind of like low-key assume that if it's in a best case section, it will come up eventually, you know?
In 2005, I couldn't stand listening to the abuse going on next door, and I started to really dislike Linda Blaney.
What kind of abuse?
Extreme verbal abuse. Extreme.
To whom?
To Cody.
Cody is?
She's the granddaughter.
Verbal abuse by Miss Blaney?
Correct.
To her granddaughter?
Yes, and to many other people, too. There was often a lot of screaming going on at her place.
Okay, so you decided...
Yeah. I really care about Cody, and finally I couldn't stand listening to it anymore, so I called the police. I guess the police came and they questioned Cody, but they questioned her in front of her, and Cody is afraid.
That's not too bright.
No, and Cody is afraid.
No.
Wrath of Grandma. So 2 days later I was out.
Oh, that poor little kid. Look at her face.
Weeding in my garden, and I had planted some flowering ground cover for her several months before in front of her fence, and she came out and started cutting it down, and so I just stopped and was watching her, and then she picked it up and said, "These are yours, they belong in your yard," and threw them at me.
That's not true, Your Honor.
Don't.
How could you make that up?
All right.
And then as I was starting to pick them up and I was saying, "No, they belong in your yard," she body slammed me to try to keep me from picking them up. And when I tossed it into her yard, she started slamming me with the weed eater. And she hit me a couple of times and punched me in the jaw. I attempted to hit her back, and then I ended up wrestling the weed eater away from her.
Did you hit her with the weed whacker?
I poked her.
So you hit her?
Yeah. but not hard. It was more to make the point.
And I said, so you took it away from her,
yeah,
and then you hit her with it.
Yeah, she hit me with it several times. I did it more to make a point. I said, now you finally hit someone who hit you back. And then I threw it to the ground. But it was not with force.
Okay. And you were arrested.
Doesn't matter.
Yes, which I was extremely shocked.
Because Miss Blaney called the police.
You're extremely shocked because you hit somebody who seems to be an old lady. I don't know if she just doesn't look after herself, but you hit an old lady with a weed whacker, but it wasn't hard. She called the police and you're shocked that you got arrested or like charged. Okay.
I called the police as well.
You both did. Mm-hmm. And the case was subsequently dismissed.
Yes.
Was it dismissed prior to trial or after trial?
Prior.
All right, Miss Blaney, tell me your version of these events.
I was already out in my yard, doing my yard. I didn't see Rhonda anywhere. I was out there, and I done around my fence. I'd put a fence up between us. Let me explain. And when I first moved in the trailer there...
Who lives in the trailer, Miss Blaney?
It's me and my 2 grandkids. I have custody, and I adopted my grandson.
How old is Cody?
She'll be 13 on the 19th.
And how old is your grandson?
He's 3 now. I've had them both since he was 3 days old.
Where's their mother?
Her mother is in rehab right now. At the time I took her, she was really highly on drugs, and she was running the streets and prostituting at that time.
Your daughter?
Yes, ma'am.
And she's the mother of the 3-year-old as well?
No, my son is the father.
Your son is the father of the 3-year-old?
Yes.
Where is he?
He's in prison right now.
Sounds to me like your mother...
Wow, this poor woman, as much as she sounds like a nutbag herself, like the poor lady has just hit the bloody children lottery here and had to pay the repercussions, and in turn ends up a nut out.
Mothering skills aren't so terrific.
Well, they didn't start doing...
That's not fair. It's not always the mothering skills. Don't say that.
...doing this until they was in their 30s, so...
But I mean, she also seems a bit crazy, so she could just be a weird mother. I don't know. We don't know.
Son's only in his early 20s.
My son is 33 years old.
I don't care if he's 33. I don't care if he's 15. Okay, so keep going.
Can I tell you ahead of time what had happened? 3 or 4 months after I moved in, this lady here in Rhonda Lynn went off for some reason about 2 or 3 in the morning. She bangs on my trailer and puts a dent on the side of my trailer, hollering my name and everything. And then she gets in her car. Well, I'm on the phone with the police department, and I'm telling them this lady's crazy. I said, she's hollering and screaming, and I swear I don't know what it was about. She gets in her Blazer that she used to have, or whatever car it was, and she'd sit in there and she'd hit this.
My Habbo experience. I should do a live stream. Not a live stream, but yeah, a video where I stream my Habbo return. Maybe a giveaway. HC, lol.
Steering wheel and screaming and hollering. By the time the police could get there, she'd done drove off. That's one incident.
Who else in chat played Habbo Hotel? If you didn't, you missed out on a childhood and a half, my friends.
That started all this. Next one, she takes my granddaughter into her trailer and cuts her hair without my knowledge. Nobody told her to cut her hair. She had no reason to do that. Then she had called the police and said, I bit my granddaughter. Okay, I was biting my granddaughter. That's what they had told me. And I'm beating my kids.
Mama ain't got no teeth to bite her granddaughter, but okay.
And then I don't whip my kids. That's my problem. Maybe I should whip them, but I don't.
I would say that that's not a good idea. Why did you cut her granddaughter's hair?
Actually, she had cut her granddaughter's hair, and it was, I mean, extreme.
Why did you cut her granddaughter's hair?
Because her granddaughter was crying to me about how she felt that it was extremely uneven, and all I did was even it up. Could hardly tell, except it was.
I wonder who this random 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 4, 2, 3, 4 person is. Whoever you are, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the group. Welcome to the JJ Watchers. I'm sure that you will fit right in here.
It didn't look
Did you ask
choppy.
her to even out your hair?
Yes.
No.
Well, how come you let her cut your hair?
I couldn't say no because I was just in the mirror. She was just fixing it up for me, I guess.
Okay. Not a big deal.
Cody's afraid.
You're not supposed to touch somebody else's child's hair, change their appearance.
Cody's afraid of her grandmother and has asked me 3 times to adopt her. And unfortunately, her grandmother has convinced her to lie about this today, which is, I'm sad about.
See?
Oh no!
Signs, 1,000, in close proximity to each other for 4 years. Yes. Have you gotten along?
Shit.
They don't not see them for 2 weeks. They may give up sleeping, but they won't go work, job, work, school, work, and not be
Correct.
to a granddaughter.
Yes, and to many other people, too. there was
God damn it. Is it actually the E-famous revolver? I'm gonna die.
often a lot of screaming going on at her place.
Okay, so you decided.
Yeah, I really care about Cody. And
Who lives in the trailer, Miss Blaney?
I've ruined my entire bloody JJ stream because I got so excited about the E-famous revolver joining my chat.
Cut her granddaughter's hair.
because her granddaughter was crying to me about how she felt that it was extremely uneven.
Far out. What's your IRLC name?
It didn't look
Did you ask
choppy.
her to even out your hair?
What's your IRL name? God damn it. Jay?
No.
Well, how come you let her cut your hair?
I couldn't say no because I was just in the mirror. She was just fixing it up for me.
Damn it! Josh.
Not a big deal.
Cody's
You're not
afraid.
supposed to.
Josh is in, no. Not as in Jaden's brother. The other Josh. Or was it Jaden's brother? Reindeer and Revolver. It was!
Somebody else's child hair change their appearance.
Cody's afraid of her grandmother and has asked me 3 times to adopt her. And unfortunately, her grandmother has convinced her to lie about this today, which is, I'm sad about that.
I wouldn't be sad. I think she's a very nice young lady.
Yeah, she is.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mm-hmm. Now, let's go to May 11th.
Okay, like I said, I put a fence up to keep the baby in. While I was going around the fence, I went outside much section in front of my yard that has grass there. So I go around there and I start weed eating. Well, these things that she had planted a couple months prior to that, they was going everywhere into my yard where the baby was picking them out. So I picked them and started...
I'm so distracted. The, Joshy. Holy shit, it's all coming back to me now. I had a crocodile named after you. Holy crap. Memories, dude. Hello. How are you? Holy shit. It's been like, literally like, far out, what, like 10 years? Or you are ruining my video. I'm sorry, you are ruining my video. But holy shit, I haven't seen this person in 10 years. I didn't even know that you knew who I was or had me on any kind of online things. That's amazing.
Picking them out. Well, I'm down like this on the ground and I'm throwing them this way, not realizing it's going over on the driveway in front of her trailer, excuse me, you know. And so I had every intention of picking them up and taking them, you know, after I got through. She comes around her trailer and she said, "You don't throw them on my property." I said, "Rhonda, just get away from me." "Oh, you want to fight, huh?" And all of a sudden she hits me, which I have pictures to show the swelling in my jaw. While I'm down, I get up and then I'm not gonna lie, I swung at her, but she kept doing this to me, okay? And that's fine. So I took the weed eater and I pushed it in her.
So you hit her with the weed whacker?
I didn't hit her. I kept trying to keep her away from me. And then all of a sudden, I have a scratch here. I should have got pictures of that where she jerked as hard as she could, and then she just slung it and hit me on my side. I have pictures also on that also. So that's when I go into the trailer, my neighbors come running, and I went in. God,
this episode is a lot. I've got bloody the E-famous revolver here. I've got trailers being bashed in. I've got adoptions.
And they all came inside, and that's when the police came. I didn't call them. I didn't have to. There was other people that called them.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I have a witness too, Your Honor.
Who was that? Your boyfriend?
No, he was the neighbor.
Judge Judy. Rhonda Lynn claims...
Oh gee, this next episode looks good. Did you see that guy's bloody mustache? P.S. That was my chair, if anyone heard that noise. I keep saying that, everyone's like, yeah, sure.
Our neighbor, Linda Blaney, had her falsely arrested for assault. Linda is countersuing for pain and suffering from the alleged attack.
Okay, Cody, you want to stand up next to your grandmother? Did you see any of these events from the beginning or from the end?
The only scene I seen was the one with the weed
this poor
whacker
girl.
on May 11th.
Well, tell me what you saw only, not what anybody told you, okay?
I was inside with my baby cousin and we was watching TV. Then I heard a lot of commotion with Rhonda and my grandmother. And then I walked outside to see, and they were both fighting. And then my grandmother did push the weed whacker, and she's like, Rhonda was like...
Push the weed whacker in her stomach?
Yeah, not eventually, like right here. Just like get her away from it. And then she's like, "Did you see that, Cody? She hit me." I was like, "Don't hit my grandma." So I went inside to call 911. And the police got here and they started taking pictures of my grandmother.
Okay, now I'll see your photographs, Miss Blaney.
Oh, this poor little girl.
This one's on my wrist, my ribs, right here. And this is the picture of my yard where it all happened. Right here, both of these.
I also have photographs and and all of that too for you.
And also have the police report and more documents of her record that was pulled.
This is only, like, to my knowledge, like 2006. They are coming prepared. Like, I remember the old 2006 episodes. They're like, yeah, I, like, had a post on MySpace, and then, like, I screenshotted it, but I didn't bring them with me, but imagine. Of course, what did they say? Animals, in the words of Savage Garden, animals and children tell the truth, they never lie. Which one is more human? There's a path, now you decide. I think there's a thought, whatever.
Okay, you have pictures of your injuries?
Yes,
Penny?
ma'am.
I'd like to see them.
There you go.
It was literally a photo of her hip. There was literally no injuries, but okay. Oh, yeah.
Your Honor?
Yeah.
There is an open case against her now for hitting another lady in court here from the police department.
Listen.
Have a go at her injuries versus the one that's like, I have photos of my injuries. It's literally a photo of her hip with nothing on it. And she's like, the police took photos. And then the other chick who was like, yeah, she bashed me with this lawnmower thing, is like bruised out the wazoo. Yeah, okay. And they're like instant as well. Like, if they're instant bruising like that from the space of like I'm gonna guess an hour from like the fight to the cops, like, pretty sure we know who got damaged in the fight, my friends.
I think you both behaved very badly that day.
I agree.
I think that you both behaved like children, not like grown-ups. I think that when you started pulling out the stuff and...
Sorry, I know I'm pausing a lot, but I have 8 viewers, which is like the most viewers I've ever had in my stream. So if you're new, thank you. Welcome to the stream. I stream every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Would love you to subscribe. We'll end it there. Continue.
Throwing it on her driveway.
It wasn't on her driveway. It was in the street, Your Honor.
Well, you told me it was in her driveway.
Well, it's in the street in front of her trailer. She thinks she owns the driveway right there.
I think, listen to me, Miss Blaney, you told me 2 things. You told me you took it out, but you didn't realize you were throwing it in front of her driveway.
Right.
And then you said to me, but I was going to pick it up.
Right.
So if you didn't realize what you were doing, why would you think I'm going to pick it up?
Because the fact when I do my yard, it always goes out into... The way the trailer park is, Your Honor, you come in...
Miss Blaney, either you didn't know you were doing the wrong thing, or you knew you were doing the wrong thing and you tended to clean up after yourself later.
My whole yard needed to be cleaned up because I had the weed whacked all in front if you look at the pictures.
Listen to me.
Okay.
I think that you both behaved badly that day.
I have a witness too, Your Honor.
Who was that? Your boyfriend?
No, he's the neighbor. No.
She's been seeing him.
No, I have not. I have a boyfriend.
Listen, you don't want me to dismiss your case, do you?
No, Your Honor.
I've already warned you once.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
He lives across the driveway, and he and his girlfriend were on the porch and watching me weed and all that.
Tell me your name.
Aaron Hukel.
Mr. Hukel, you remember May 11th, 2005?
I do.
What time of the day was this?
It was evening time.
What were you doing on the porch?
I was talking with my former girlfriend. We were discussing our day.
And how do you know Miss Lynn?
She lives across from me.
Still does.
Still does.
So tell me what you observed on May 11th.
Josh, my memory is about as good as a newborn baby, so you've got to pretty much spell everything out for me, and Jacob can confirm here. Jacob is one of my IRL friends, and he pretty much has to recount everything from the moment I woke up to the moment I fell asleep. If he's like, do you remember that time that you did this? I'm like, no. And then he'll be like, you did this, you wore this, you saw this, you were going to this thing, then you did this, and then you did this. And I'm like, yeah, kind of.
Just heard them arguing, and when I looked up,
Goldfish brain, mate.
I seen that she had hit her with the weed eater, and then she took it back and hit her
He is literally, Jacob is my historian.
back with the weed eater, and she grabbed her side and ran inside. And then the police came, and then they started to take Rhonda away, and then my former girlfriend...
Sorry, I'm ruining this guy's moment, but literally Jacob will next week be like, remember in the stream for Judge Judy when you said this and he did this? And I'll be like, no.
Thought that wasn't right because she thought that Linda...
I don't know, tell me what your former girlfriend thought or what your former girlfriend said.
Okay.
What did you do?
I didn't do anything.
You didn't speak to the police?
They didn't want to talk to us. They said...
Josh, by the way, how did you find me? Were you subscribed or are you a new subscriber?
call the district
See what I did there?
attorney? You didn't do anything?
No, didn't call the district attorney, but somebody called us and gave my former girlfriend and I both a phone interview.
So you did speak to someone eventually?
Yes, yes.
And you told them that you saw Miss Blaney hit Miss Lynn with the weed whacker?
Yes.
And then you saw Miss Lynn take the weed whacker and hit Miss Blaney with the weed whacker?
Yes.
Okay, now, the only issue that I have, Miss Lynn,
Yes, ma'am.
is who hit who first?
I love that. Well, I'm glad that being subscribed to me from 500 million years ago has brought us back together. I'm feeling very nostalgic.
I have the investigators' report of different witnesses that saw it, and they all have the same story, which is...
Well, I'd like to see the reports. Those police reports?
Neck minute unsubscribes.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to
I
see
have
them.
a police report also, Your Honor.
I'd like to see them.
Yeah. Here's all that. And there's photos in there for her.
I also have the reports, police reports on her, of her record of assaulting other people.
Y'all, I'm starving.
Right.
I'm gonna eat a cheesesteak, don't judge me.
Did you speak to the district attorney, Miss Blaney?
Yes, I did. They kept postponing the case, and it kept going and postponing. I told him, I said, you know, I'd rather just put this behind me. I said, I don't even want to do this anymore. I said, I want to find me a place to move to. I said, I'm just tired. I just want to leave me alone. So I'd rather just leave it alone and let's go on with it. That's what I told the DA.
The truth is that she has no evidence.
Oh, that's not true at all, Miss Lynn. That's not true at all.
Well, according to
That's
the
not
lawyer.
true at all.
Right, okay.
Here's the first statement by an Aaron Hugel. That's you.
Yes.
You said to the police, you indicated that words were exchanged between the two women. You couldn't hear it, and at one point, Glenn swinging her fist toward Lynn. You didn't tell me that, sir.
That's because
Yeah.
I don't remember specifically at the moment, so
Oh, yeah,
that's why I
yeah.
didn't say it.
Well, you said that to the police, but you didn't say that to me.
Correct.
Okay. And what's your girlfriend's name? Your ex-girlfriend.
Erica.
Well, Erica says clearly that you hit her first.
Well, see, I was down on my knees, Your Honor, and they didn't see that because my car was right
Oh,
there.
yeah.
And then when I stood up,
Who's Rose?
She was another neighbor.
I fired her husband I used to be apartment manager. I fired her husband, and that's the
Not her
reason why
husband.
they done this, because they wouldn't even know where around when this happened.
Yes, they were.
Your Honor, right now they're against Rhonda because Rhonda started on them also. That's why they're not here. She started to fight with this woman
Listen
here.
to me. I want you to be quiet.
Okay.
One thing I don't understand, Miss Lynn, when you saw Miss Blaney outside, why did you go outside?
I was actually outside first. I'd been out there weeding for about an hour.
Well, you weren't both weeding in the same exact...
she came-
Shh. You can sit down now. You weren't both weeding in the same exact spot, Miss Lynn.
No.
So there came a point when you went over to where Miss Blaney was weeding. There's no question about that.
Actually, I was on my side weeding in front of the fence. Well, the fence was right here. I was right there. And she came out, and she was literally like 3 feet from me. So I just stopped, and I watched, and then that's when it happened. And the fight actually happened in front of my place, not in front of hers. I'd like to point out, too, that I am a minister.
Of what?
Oh, she's a minister, therefore all truth.
Internet.
Of...
No.
Your counterclaim is dismissed, Miss Blaney. Do you understand?
Yes.
I warned you 3 times. 3rd time's a charm. You get it?
Yes.
Because there is no question in my mind that you hit her first with the weed whacker. I don't know whether she hit you first in the face, but there's no question in my mind that you hit her first with a dangerous instrument. And she wrestled it away from you and hit you back. So when I say that you both behaved badly, you both behaved badly. So I have absolutely no compunctions dismissing your counterclaim. You get it?
Yes.
Because you can't control yourself. And quite frankly, Miss Lynn, I'm not so sure that you didn't hit her first.
I swear to
Not
God, I
sure.
did not.
Not sure, because if you had had bad feelings against this lady, and clearly you did, you had called the police on her 2 days before. I don't know if it's the first time or not. I don't know
Yes, it was.
if the incident that she refers to with regard to the car and the truck,
None of that happened.
I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure.
It's true.
And I'm certainly not so sure about this minister business. So I'm going to ask you again,
Right.
you're a minister of what?
I marry, bury, baptize, but all I've actually done is marry.
Do you have a congregation?
Mary Berry Baptized.
Actually, no, I'm independent.
What divinity school did you...
I feel like that could be a, what's it called? Mary Berry Baptized. That could be like a weird kind of band name, maybe.
graduate from?
Universal Life Church, Church of Divine Man, and Berkeley Psychic Institute.
Where are they located?
Sacramento.
Did you ever attend school there?
Yes, I did.
For how long?
About 5 years.
Are you telling me you were a full-time student in a divinity school in Sacramento for 5 years, or are you pulling my leg?
Not full-time. It was part-time.
How part?
How
Evenings
part?
and weekends.
5 evenings a week and weekends? 1 evening a month? 2 evenings a year? 1 weekend seminar? Very easy for me to find out.
Minimum of 3 nights a week.
For
And-
5 years?
Well, after I became
You know
a
that I
minister-
don't believe a word you're telling me?
I'm telling the truth.
No. First of all, I never heard of any of these ministries. That doesn't mean that they don't exist, but it's not like the First Congregational Church.
There's
Baptist
a copy
Church.
of my credentials at the back of that. Just mine. All right.
Miss
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Madam, I don't believe you. I think that you and Miss Blaney acted badly
I agree.
on May 11th. I don't think it requires a lawsuit. I have already dismissed her counterclaim because I'm telling you that I think she behaved badly and she was the first one to hit you with a dangerous instrument. And I'm not convinced that you did not hit her first. We're annoyed that she was taking these weeds and throwing them on your property and socked her first. She has pictures of her jaw, which appears to be black and blue. Black and blue jaw doesn't come from the weed whacker where you hit her in the knee. So I feel real comfortable in saying I don't believe that either one of you did the right thing on May 11th, 2005.
I also
Cases
had
are
approved-
dismissed, that's all.
It took a little while for us to get there, but that was also a Brillo episode. It looks like we've got one more episode or case in this. Well, I'm assuming it's only 15 minutes or not even 8 minutes. Maybe it's like super serial. But I'm having a good time. What are you guys having? A good time? You want to keep going, or should we just rock out a cheeky little funny JJ montage and roll on out?
The judge didn't believe me
She lied through the whole thing.
because I'm telling the truth.
Those are fake tears. Fake tears is all they are.
Linda Blaney is a liar.
Watch out, Rhonda's crazy.
And he assaulted you because he believed that you were messing around with his wife. You want your bills paid, your medical bills, your dental bill. Mr. Podani said he was sort of defending himself because you went after him first. Anna, let's see. You weren't arrested for this assault, sir?
No, I wasn't.
Lucky. Okay, Mr. McDonald, how do you and the defendant's wife know each other?
I've worked with her for 6 years. She also is a friend.
Tell me when this assault took place.
The assault took place September 16, 2006. It took place at my place of work. Me and Joan went to get something to eat. We returned
What time?
at 5:30.
After the place closed?
After work, yes.
What kind of work do you do?
I do hair for a living.
So after work, the place closed down and you and the defendant's wife went out for dinner. Is this the first time you did that?
No, I have worked with Joan for 6 years.
So you've gone out for dinner before?
She's been a manager at a business I owned before. So yes, we've gone out to eat before.
Nothing else, just dinner.
Just dinner.
Ever anything else other than just dinner?
No, just dinner.
Went out for dinner, that was about
Dinner for two, am I right, fellas?
5:30. What time did you get back?
6:30.
And you, I assume, came back, you went in one car?
Yes, one in my truck.
You were coming back to pick up her car.
Correct.
That's the scene. Tell me what happened.
We pulled up in the parking lot where I work. As I pulled up, I saw that Mike was in the parking lot also.
Had you met him before?
I've known Mike for most of that 6 years also, to the point of actually playing cards and stuff together. Pulled up, I saw Mike
You could say it's pretty serious because they're playing cards.
starting to walk towards my truck. When he got up next to my truck, I rolled down my window. Mike punched me through my truck window. I then ended up trying to get out of the vehicle. I was unable to get out of the vehicle because he kept shutting.
I don't think we've heard it very much in the streams that I've been doing, but I love when people in America say the vehicle. It's just the thing I like. I don't know.
Vehicle. So I went over the passenger seat, got out of the vehicle, asked him what was up. His response was that I was messing around with his wife. We told him that we had gone out to eat. I actually had the food container from going out to eat in my vehicle. I gave that to him. Shortly after, the police responded to the scene. asked what...
Who called the police?
I think a witness in the parking lot called the police. They responded fairly fast. They separated all three parties.
Everybody shouting at everybody else?
No, it wasn't that. They just separated. There was actually 3 squads that showed up on the scene. They separated Joan, Mike,
Where was
myself.
Joan?
Joan was with me during this time. She was in the passenger seat, so she also had to go out. She was there when the police showed up. The police asked me if I had been assaulted. I said I had. They asked me what I wanted to do about it, if they wanted to charge Mike. I had said no, but I did tell them, at the time I thought I was going to lose a tooth that was already a fake tooth, so I knew it was going to cost me money. So I told them.
If it was already a fake tooth and you're about to lose it, why would it cost you more than if you lost an IRL tooth and needed a new fake tooth? I don't know.
If I lose my tooth, I'd like to have him pay for it. And I also asked the police to let him know not to come around me anymore from that point on. Hindsight, I wish I would have pressed charges at that time. At the time that happened, I did not, because I knew that would potentially cause some trouble for their home. Plus, I know that Mike had some potential trouble in the past, and I did not know if that was going to create a bigger problem than what they already had. But since that time, the stitches came out to be the amount that I'm suing for, the $21.29.
How many stitches
I ended up with 8 stitches in the front and 2 in my mouth.
Where?
Right there. I have a scar from it.
Well, it all started back when I asked my wife if they'd been messing around, and she said, no, they haven't. And then she tells me that she's not in love with me anymore.
Shocker that they all kind of happened at the same time.
She told me that night that she was working until 6:30. So we were supposed to go out. We had an engagement to go out on a buddy's yacht to go boating. I called her up. She didn't answer the phone. I called her cell phone. She didn't answer that either. I thought maybe she was just cleaning up, so I thought I'd swing out there and help her clean up.
What time was she due home, sir?
6:30.
So you swung out to see if you could help her clean up?
Right. And the place is all locked up, closed up, and her car is sitting out in the parking lot.
What time did you get there?
Must have been about 5:45.
So you waited?
So I waited.
About
I called her on the
6.
phone. Of course, she didn't answer. Next thing you know, they pull up together in his truck. I walked up angry at what's been going on because I've been accusing her, actually these two, of screwing around for a while now. And I walked
Look
up
at her face. She's just like, yeah, so I might have.
to his truck, and I thought he was going to, since I was mad and angry, I thought he was going to kick the door at me, so I grabbed it, and when he rolled down the window, I punched him. So I'm, defending my family, trying to protect it.
Oh, yeah.
No, you're not.
I think I was. And now they're together.
Well, but you're not, sir. You're not allowed to do that. Even if they were doing more than just having dinner after work, not allowed to put your hands on somebody else.
Hit them, and
So
I know
why
it
did
was
you do
wrong,
it?
but
How many other people have you hit when you got angry?
none.
You've been in trouble with the law before?
Yes.
For what?
Fraud.
Nothing other than fraud?
No.
Is it a long time ago or recently?
A long time ago.
Okay, what kind of work do you do, Mr. Paden?
I do home inspections.
You have children?
Yes, I have 4.
How long are you married?
10 years.
How old are your children?
I have a 9-year-old with Joan, and I have 2 20-year-olds and a 17-year-old.
With your former wife?
Right.
How long are you divorced from your...
Gosh, the idea of being divorced, let alone divorced twice, just makes me want to just never even bother. Not that I won't, because I'm getting married next year. So cute. But, I don't know. These guys who have been divorced, multiple times, good on you, man. For keeping on trying. It's out there for you, surely.
Your former wife?
15 years.
Was it your idea or her idea?
Both.
So you fell out of love with each other?
Right.
You fell out of love with each other?
Right. And then I raised those 3 kids.
Good. I mean, that's nice. But you fell out of love with each other. Because
Right.
that happens. You understood that happens.
Right.
You didn't beat her up, did you? Because she fell out of love with you. She didn't beat you up because you fell out of love with her.
No.
Right?
Never had a woman.
But it happens.
It happens.
It happens.
It does. It happens.
Happens. She doesn't say that you have the right to hit him.
I'm not proud of hitting him, but...
Fine, so then you have to take care of his bills. How much were your bills?
The medical bills were $21.29. I had to have the truck cleaned out. That was $175. The clothes I was wearing was $125, and I missed a day's work following the incident.
Gee, imagine bloody quoting the amount of money that you'd spend on your clothes when you were trying to do oh yeah, he beat me up, so I lost $125 worth of clothes.
which was $500.
I mean, no judgment, but like imagine having to like think about it.
I was told he didn't miss any work.
Whether he missed any work or not, sir, he's not even suing you for pain and suffering, which he should. Absolutely should. You have no right to put your hands on somebody else. He's suing you for $29.29, which is nothing. If he would have sued you for $5,000, I would have given it to him. What?
Since then,
So can I have $5,000 or not?
I've had to get a restraining order against him because he's actually contacted my ex-wife to find out where I live.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You moved on once? You survived?
On again.
How old are you?
41.
41. You're a baby. I got a son 42 years old who's never been married once. You're looking for wife number 3. Tell me your secret.
And later today,
Do you have a gambling problem?
No.
You have a drug problem?
No.
Your aunt says it was about $150,000 that you blew.
Spiegel, Judge Judy. Matt
$150,000 on gambling.
McDonald says his friend's estranged husband, Mike Pedani, assaulted him
Fiance in chat making me blush.
in the parking lot at his work.
Mr. McDonald, your complaint alleges that he owes you $29.29. There's no question you're going to get that. I was just gratuitously throwing in that you're entitled to pain and suffering as well. Mr. Pedani is lucky that he didn't spend 6 months in jail for assault. I mean, it's over.
It's over.
It's over.
Time to move on.
Time to move on.
Yeah.
You moved on once.
This chick has a face that is just like,
You
Move
survived.
on again.
You're going to move on again. And believe me, how old are you?
41.
41. You're a baby. I got a son 42 years old who's never been married once.
oh, we're watching
You're
this
looking
again.
for wife number 3. Tell me your secret. Judging for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,929. That's all. Thank you.
Ooh, snap! JJ served her bill.
It did feel good. But then, of course, he got out of the truck and hit me.
No, I didn't hit him back.
I apologized to him right after I did hit him.
He's always
Oh yeah, what, you punch him in the face or something and you're like, soz mate.
possessive.
Well, they've been kind of messing around for a while now.
The defendant does have an anger issue.
When he was saying that I spoke to his wife, I actually ran into her at a bar, and she was telling me that's why they got divorced, because of those two.
He and his first wife had issues, so I think he just kind of carried it over into our relationship.
I'm happy it's done. I knew.
He carried it over into your relationship that you were together with, for 10 years. I'm pretty sure he would have moved on unless like you just like did not talk about it or resolve it the entire time. 10 years is a long time, fam.
Move on.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Ernest versus Kennedy, step forward, please.
Karen Ernest is suing her nephew, 26-year-old Nicholas Kennedy, for a loan to get his Mustang fixed.
Mr. Kennedy, this is your aunt?
Yes.
That's your mother's sister?
Yes.
Parents are dead?
Wow, they were quick little episodes. Remember I was saying that that's probably the last case. We got one more. Lucky us, girl.
Yes.
Your aunt tells me that you inherited a lot of money.
I inherited a trust fund from my grandmother when she passed away.
You still have the money?
My aunt is in control of my trust fund, yes.
How old are you?
26.
How much money do you get from the trust fund?
It was a total of $50,000.
So how much income do you get from that every year?
I actually do not know, Judge. My aunt is in full control of it. She's the trustee of the trust fund until I'm
Well, there has to be income that's paid out periodically. How much income is paid out to him?
Judge Judy, due to financial issues with
Here we go. She's milking the trust fund. Love
Nicholas
that.
over the past few years, before the passing of his grandmother, I sat down with her and her attorney, and we came up with an idea that the only way that Nicholas will ever have any money in the future was to set the age limit of 35 for him to get the money.
And the income is reinvested?
35? Oh,
Yes.
mate. If my grandmother left me a trust fund right now at 28 years old would be the perfect age. 35? I'm sorry, pal. I've already got a mortgage. I'm getting married. I need money now. Like 35, I'll be just chilling. Sort it out.
All right, this is what the case
35.
is about. I just have to get a little bit of a picture of the family. You don't mind, Miss Ernest, do you?
No, Judge.
Because one gets the sense from reading these papers that you adored him and he disappointed you. You made him, according
Standard.
to you, a loan to have his car fixed, and he promised he would pay you back.
Yes.
It was a relatively small loan.
Very small.
So I don't think that it's the money necessarily that's the issue.
You're absolutely right. It's the principle.
Right. And he hasn't paid you back.
Not a dime.
But also, you could just take it out of his trust fund and then he wouldn't owe you shit because he's got $50,000 sitting there that is his.
When did you take the money from your aunt to fix the car?
It was in the end of July, beginning of August of 2006.
What was wrong with your car?
The rotors, the heat shield, and the calipers were completely shot, as well as the bearings. It basically sounded like it was a bag of tin cans in the back of my car.
What kind of work do you do, Mr. Kennedy?
I'm a blackjack dealer at a casino in central New York.
Do you have a gambling problem?
No.
You have a drug problem?
No.
How long have you been a blackjack dealer?
2 years.
You get paid reasonable money?
Roughly $30,000 a year.
You support anyone other than yourself?
I have my daughter to support, yes.
How old is she?
2 years old.
Does she live with you?
No.
How much do you send her for support?
3.
Current?
Yes.
Do they take it out of your pay?
Yes.
That's why you come. Good. So how come you were in such dire straits that you needed money from your aunt?
At the time, my wife and I were talking about a separation, and I spoke with my aunt. My aunt has a great deal of dislike for my wife, and she was very happy.
She can't even contain it. She's like, yeah, look, I hate that bitch.
The sound of my wife and I separating. At the time,
Does she dislike her because of things that you've told her about your wife?
No.
She just decided that you didn't like her on her own?
Yeah, I believe something happened way back in the beginning in 2002 when we first got together, and things just kind of escalated from there.
Whose fault was it, without going into the story?
I really don't know. I don't even know all the details myself.
Go ahead.
Sounds like it was his, lol.
So?
I was in some financial trouble, and
why?
I was only working part-time at that point, and I needed some assistance with getting the separation going, and when I spoke to my aunt about the separation, she told me she'd help me in any other way she could possibly help me. And I also
Has she done that before?
Yes, she has.
So she's been supportive of you since you were born?
Correct. And I mentioned to her that I was having car problems, but I didn't have the money to fix my car at that time. She then offered to help me get my car fixed. Not once did she tell me that this was a loan or that I'd have to pay her back, just that she would help me get my car fixed so I could have
it was a gift trick.
It back in the road. It was my only vehicle. My wife had her own vehicle at the time as well.
Now, when did she ask you for the money back, Mr. Kennedy?
Since then, I've only had 1 or 2 conversations with her in 6 months, and about a couple of weeks ago, out of the blue, I got a letter.
When for the first time did she ask you for the money back?
She has not asked me for the money back.
Is that right, Miss Ernest?
Incorrect.
Why are you in court if she's never asked for the money back, mate? I'm pretty sure that they need some kind of oh yeah, I started asking for it back. No.
I made numerous telephone calls to Nicholas.
Thank you, Shreyan. Shreyan said all the cases today were great. I think today was one of the best JJ lives yet. Way to go, Rabbi. Thank you. And Tilly said these episodes are quite long, aren't they? Yes, this is only a 53-minute episode, and I started streaming at 6:30. I think it's mostly because I've just been talking a lot, to be honest. But thank you, Shreyan. That really means a lot, and I feel like this was a very good episode. So, yeah, I don't think we're gonna go with a cheeky JJ compilation this evening, I should say, because it's been a really good time, and I'm just going to end on a high, I reckon.
His only cell phone that he had, and he never returned any calls whatsoever.
Tell me about the conversation that you had with him in either July or August.
Initially, I was contacted by Nicholas August 1st, 2006. He says that he has problems with his car. It's the only vehicle he has to get to work, and he can't afford to get it fixed. I told him I want nothing to do with trying to help him anymore. Because
why? Tell me why.
Just so many financial issues in the past. Him and his wife have a bankruptcy already on them, 6 months into the marriage. They just can't rub 2 nickels together. They can't save a dime, and...
Same girl.
I didn't believe he...
I just bought, this afternoon, I bought a new monitor, a light-up gaming mouse pad that is totally unnecessary, but I felt like I needed it, a power board, and I am looking at a monitor arm and a camera arm for this tiny little desk, just so I can provide you guys an amazing environment. So yeah, I feel about the old rub the old nickel together trick.
He's going to have any way to pay me back, so it's a lost cause. He begged and pleaded with me that he really needs to have his car fixed. It's the only way he can get to work. During that conversation, he also stated that they were in the process of selling their home and separating, that they were closing the end of August, and he promised out of the closing of the house that he would pay me back.
Did you sell your house?
Yes, I did.
When?
It was in the end of August.
How much equity did you have in your house?
We sold just the house, the furniture. We took all the furniture with us, but the house itself sold for $32,000.
That doesn't give me...
Imagine selling a house for $32,000. I'm sure the 6 people that are viewing right now are all from Australia. Could you imagine buying a house for $32,000? Bitch.
The answer. How much equity did you have in the house? Did you have a mortgage?
No.
So you had $32,000?
Correct.
Where's the money?
We used the money to pay back my wife's car loan, and then the rest of the money we...
How is that even real? I don't even think we can buy a block of land for $32,000 in this bloody country.
Invested into a new apartment for us. Getting new furniture, getting ourselves reset up.
What'd you need new furniture for?
The furniture we had was completely destroyed.
What do you mean it was destroyed? Was there a hurricane?
No, my daughter.
Oh, you mean so it was destroyed by a 2-year-old?
Yeah.
It was destroyed by a 2-year-old. Mr. Kennedy, you sound ridiculous, sir.
What do you mean?
You sound ridiculous.
Yeah, she put crayons on the walls. What do you mean?
Wife work?
No.
Are you back together again?
No.
When did that change? Yesterday?
We started working on things, and right now it's just kind of a rocky relationship. Right now it's just for my daughter.
So when you bought the new furniture, who moved into this apartment with the new furniture?
We moved in together, and I resided there for 5 days before I moved out.
Something had to happen, Mr. Kennedy. See.
I began seeing one of my coworkers.
Shreyan, I'm not shocked that you live on rent considering you live in Melbourne. What are the house prices, like $7 million just for like a bloody studio apartment down that way?
Oh, so you sold the house. Whose house was it? Yours, or was it the family house?
It was the money from my inheritance from my mother's passing.
Fine, because I gather from your aunt, which I am a sort of believer that you can't rub 2 nickels together. So you got a little inheritance, you bought a house. Let me follow this. With the money that you got, you bought a house, you sold the house, you took the $32,000. You paid off your wife's car.
Correct.
How much was that?
$14,000.
Then you bought new furniture because the 2-year-old destroyed the furniture.
Correct.
And you bought new furniture, put it in an apartment.
How does a 2-year-old destroy furniture? I'm just thinking like, yeah, crayons. Would they like vomit on it? Pee on it? I'm pretty sure you can get insurance for that, but I don't know about America. But in Aussie, you can get a insurance for vomit and liquids.
Brand new apartment. You spent the rest of the money, $20,000, $18,000, and you bought new furniture, moved into an apartment that you lived in for 5 years.
$6.5 million is the house you came closest to buy in Melbourne. What? Bruh. No dice. No dice.
It's because you started fooling around with a coworker.
Correct.
How much was the car payment?
$649.61. Judge Judy, may I get the correct calculations of his inheritance totals?
Yeah, your aunt says that you got a lot more money than that, Mr. Kennedy. She said it was more like about $150,000 that you blew.
She's correct. That was the original inheritance from my mother.
How long ago?
That was back in 2004.
Mr. Kennedy, you have to grow up, sir. Your aunt is finished with you. So your wife is driving around in a brand new car. You are no longer together. Is that so far correct? Are you now with the co-worker?
Yes.
Ah, perfect.
I just want to cry, Judge Judy.
Listen,
I love
some
Judge Judy doesn't care, bro.
grow up, some don't grow up. You have to know the difference between things you can change and things that you can't. That doesn't mean that you don't love him. That means that if he needs a kidney, you may have to give it to him, but if he needs any money, let him get another job. That's easy, you know? I mean, you may have to give him an organ one day because you love him.
I did tell him no multiple times in the conversation on the phone.
No to the organ, or?
Yeah, he can't, you know. I mean, he can't keep tapping into other people to clean up the mess after him. He's 26 years old. In the scheme of things, in a man's life anyway, that's still very young, you know. If they're going to grow up at all, it usually takes about 50 years. But and then it's a downhill slide. But he's got a way to go.
His grandma got smart in holding the trust till he's 35 years old.
Because he'll go through $50,000 like water through a goose. Right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Water through a goose. Will that be my new catchphrase? Perhaps.
Judging for the plaintiff in the amount of $649.61. That's all. Thank you.
The family needs to just still stick together no matter what happens. But then again, he shouldn't keep using me as an ATM.
My relationship with my aunt has just gone so far south, and I'd like to repair it at some point.
His ex was simply, obviously, a gold digger.
We just went through way too fast. We didn't know how to save it. We didn't know how to use it right.
Money's gone, so is she. Isn't that?
I just hope we can work on our relationship and
Alright, peeps. I love a good Best Judge Judy compilation. So I'm going to just roll through a quick one. Just to end this really awesome stream. As I said, I had the worst day today. So thank you so much for everybody who came and joined and chatted and had a good time. We'll end it with a little compilation, I reckon. Just like a 2-minute-er. Top 10 Judge Judy moments.
For over 20 years, Judge Judy
Whoop.
is...
Chill. Oh, are they going to do that whole like, Judge Judy was really funny, so we decided to put together a compilation of things that you can watch. Watch it here. We'll see. Alright. You ready for this? Because I'm totes a profesh now. Interact with this.
For over 20 years, Judge Judy has ruled her daytime courtroom with an iron fist. Now it's time to decide which of her many iconic moments is the best. Welcome to Ms. Mojo. And today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 best Judge Judy moments. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe
Go and
for
subscribe.
more great content. For this list,
If you haven't already subscribed to Robbie K's YouTube channel, go ahead and click the bell, the notifications, and the likes downstairs. Subscribe and make sure you're here for every Wednesday, 6:30 p.m., where we can watch Judge Judy.
we'll be looking at the funniest moments from daytime television's preeminent justice server.
The salesman from whom you purchased bootleg movies in the past and teddy bears for your 10 unfortunate children.
Number 10, stoned guy in court.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Scott?
If you're the type who loves smoking that Mary Jane, a courtroom is probably a pretty scary environment to be in while you're
I'm regretting this.
high. However, it seems like that didn't stop this guy from doing just that during his appearance on Judge Judy.
Who do you live with?
Huh?
Who do you live with?
My witness?
Accused of causing damage to a woman's car, he responds to Judge Judy's interrogations rather nonchalantly, even saying he didn't understand her questions and that she was speaking too fast.
No, I'm not speaking too fast. I'm just not a fool.
He'd be charged $642 by the end of the hearing.
Alright, I hate these shit overdubs, so I'm cancelling that. She's cancelled. JJ's cancelled. I'm gonna end it here because it's 8 o'clock, so that's an hour and a half stream. Look, we can't go for much longer. I know you guys just have such a good time with Ravi K, and I have such a good time with you. And as I said, I had such a lame-o day. I thought today was going to be a total flop, but it wasn't. So, thanks for joining. Thanks for hanging. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the buzzwords, click the bell, notifications on, etc. If you are new here, thank you so much for watching. But if you're not, thank you so much for joining me again. Let's just go. Bye. Much love. I don't know how to end a stream, but I'm doing it now.